big house, the horseshoe, dot the I, cue the victors. It's not just game time. It's time for the game.
We welcome you to ESPN on ABC College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers, as part of ESPN's rivalry series presented by Jiffy Lube. The 111th meeting between Ohio State and Michigan. Dave Pasch alongside Brian Griese. Brian, you know what it takes to win this game, 3-0 in your tenure at Michigan against the Buckeyes. So which quarterback is facing more pressure today?
Well, I think it's got to be J.T. Barrett. Everything on the line for Ohio State, a spot in the top 4 in the college football playoffs still there. And his first time playing in this game as a redshirt freshman, you know the nerves are there. And this Michigan defense, a top 10 defense, will be ready to play.
It is senior day at Ohio Stadium, an emotional day for players and their families, but one of the Buckeyes supposed to be introduced is not here. 22-year-old walk-on Costa George, a first-year football player, has been missing since Wednesday. Friends, family, members of the university community, along with Columbus Police, are part of an ongoing search. Since 1935, Ohio State and Michigan have met on the final Big Ten Saturday of November. The Buckeyes won the toss, elected to defer, so Michigan will receive. Kyle Clinton will kick off to Dennis Norfleet. And the 111th edition of the game is underway. Norfleet on the goal line. And nowhere to go. He is wrapped up and thrown down at the 10. Let's get onto the field and check in with the third member of our crew. Here's Tom Luganville.
Well, guys, in Urban Meyer's words, no nonsense today. Bring your intensity, bring your emotion. It's a rivalry battle. It's war. But we don't need any of that nonsense. In fact, the officials doubling his security guards along the 50-yard line today between Ohio State and Michigan in pregame warm-ups. And watching J.T. Barrett, the Ohio State quarterback, his first contest in this rivalry, throwing it hot, Brian Griese. Let's see if he settles down.
There was a fight in the game last year where 3 players were ejected. Urban Meyer said that's not going to happen from our team this week. We'll see. Devin Gardner, who had 451 yards passing in the game last year, the most ever against Ohio State by a Michigan quarterback. He'll pitch it, and a good run here off the left side. Drake Johnson, a gain of about 8 yards before he's brought down by Darren Lee.
There's a lot of emotion in the first couple of snaps of this game, and for Devin Gardner, this season has been a nightmare. The only saving grace is in last year's game, he threw for over 450 yards, and they scored 41 points. So Devin Gardner's should feel good and confident coming into this game, despite everything that's happened. I expect him to turn it loose.
He was banged up early in the year, starting to run a little bit better. We'll see if that has an impact today as Gardner throws deep, and it is intercepted at the 40-yard line. An easy pick for Von Bell. So on the second play from scrimmage, the Wolverines now minus 14 in the turnover ratio.
We talk about the nerves early in this game. Second play of the game. Let it roll, guys. He's trying to throw the ball to a check down simple, and then he gets off schedule and tries to float the ball over to Darboh. And this has been the Achilles heel of Michigan all season long. 25th turnover of the season.
And Ohio State takes over on the Michigan side of the field. Buckeyes lead the country in average starting field position. And J.T. Barrett, Wichita Falls, Texas, hands it off. Ezekiel Elliott able to power for 6 yards to the 35. Barrett has accounted for 42 touchdowns this year. That's a school record, and tied with Marcus Mariota for the nation's lead. And he didn't even know he'd be quarterback 2 weeks prior to the start of the regular year before Braxton Miller went down with an injury.
And a truly historic season for J.T. Barrett. You can't say enough about what he has done in filling in for the injured Braxton Miller. And we thought that maybe he would have the nerves, but early on it's been Devin Gardner.
Barrett will throw here on second down, and wide open is Michael Thomas. A first down to the Michigan 25-yard line. They pick up 10. Barrett has been very accurate, 65% completion rate this year.
And then Urban Meyer before the game talking with Tom, talking about getting his quarterback into a rhythm. He understands, still a redshirt freshman. Get him a couple of quick throws.
On the option, here's Barrett keeping. He's inside the 20. Well, Barrett has been compared to Alex Smith by Urban Meyer in terms of how he sees the field. He may not be the runner that Braxton Miller is, but we saw him go for 89 yards against Minnesota, a long touchdown run that helped them win that game 2 weeks ago in a tough environment. He won at Michigan State, won at Penn State, played with a bad knee, and double overtime scored to give the Buckeyes the win, so he's played in big games, but obviously this is the biggest of his career to date. On 2nd and 3, that pass out on the flat, and Michigan to the ball. Evan Spencer dropped after a gain of maybe a yard to the 18.
Well, this Michigan defense, they know sudden change. This offense has turned the ball over so many times this season, and despite the bad positions they've been put in, they're still a top 10 defense.
Here's Elliott getting the first down inside the 5. Elliott stretching for the goal line and out of bounds. Out at the 1, it'll be 1st and goal for Ohio State.
Ezekiel Elliott is the player on Ohio State's offense that jumps off the tape when I watch. He is a physical player. You see the effort. Looks like he goes out just at the 1-yard line there, but he will be a factor for Ohio State throughout the course of this game. Not just carrying the football, Dave. He also is a factor blocking for his quarterback in zone read games. He catch the football out of the backfield, a complete play.
They go empty here on 1st down and goal. Barrett dumping it off, and it's a touchdown for Nick Van Eck. The Buckeyes strike first.
Perfectly executed play. There was no safety in the middle of the field for Michigan. It was all-out blitz, and Urban Meyer knew that he had that naked to Vanette, and now J.T. Barrett has set the Big Ten record, breaking Drew Brees' record for touchdowns responsible in one season. Quite a historic season for J.T. Barrett.
Didn't start well. 3 interceptions week 2 against Virginia Tech back on September 6th, but the Buckeyes have won 9 straight. And off to a great start today, taking an interception by Devin Gardner. The 15th pick that Gardner's thrown this year, and turning it into points. Barrett to Van Eck, 7-0 Buckeyes. Von Bell with his 4th interception of the season, and Ohio State turns it into a touchdown. The Buckeyes lead 7-0. These teams have met 97 consecutive years. The last win in Columbus for Michigan back in 2000. Ohio State has won 9 of the last 10, 11 of the last 13 going back to that game in 2000. But we've seen it, Brian, you've been a part of it, where unranked teams have knocked off ranked Ohio State squads before in this rivalry. Obviously, though, turnovers are going to play a big role. If Michigan is going to get some takeaways, they can't give it away themselves as Norfleet is hit at the 20-yard line and dropped. Michigan takes over, 1st down on its 20, and a quick throw into the flat to Devin Funchess, and he's out to the 25 for a gain of 5 yards.
I think Michigan needs to get Devin Gardner running. I think you see Brady Hoke there talking with Doug Nussmeier. Might be saying, hey, look, let's get some running plays for Devin, maybe some zone read stuff. We've got to take some pressure off our passing game. We're having trouble protecting and trouble throwing the football. It's been that way all year. Get Devin Gardner doing what he does best, and that's run the football.
2 sacks on Gardner so far, with a good pickup on 1st down. Play fake here for Gardner. And hits Funchess again. It's a 1st down Michigan at the 32.
When it comes to the passing game, Grease, that's exactly what they've got to do with Devin Gardner. We've seen the results of him trying to throw from within the pocket. He's a run-pass threat. You get him on the perimeter, you put the defense in a dilemma. Do we come up and do we play him in the run, or do we defend coverage? He's healthy. Allow him to be that perimeter weapon in the passing game. And as you said, run the football in the early downs between the tackles.
Yeah, 82 32 yards a week ago, Lugs, in the loss against Maryland. Really, their only chance to do anything offensively is for him to run the football.
Here's Johnson straight ahead, and this time he's wrapped up at the point of attack. They had success in their opening series, pounding in between the tackles. Michael Bennett, senior, made the stop for Ohio State, so it's 2nd down and long for Michigan.
And this is an Ohio State defense that I know has concerned Urban Meyer a little bit late here in the season. Last 3 weeks, they've given up over 675 yards on the ground to 3 teams in Michigan State, Minnesota, and Indiana. So they've got some things they want to show up in their front 7.
They spread it out here, go empty for Gardner. 2nd down and 9. And Gardner going to take off. And Gardner hit at the 40. He'll be stopped short of the 1st down. He mentioned the 82 rushing yards last week. That was a season high.
And it also gets him involved in the game, where he doesn't have to read the defense, doesn't have to try to fit a throw in, but just get the nerves out of Devin Gardner here early in the game. 3rd and short here. Expect them to come off the football and run the ball.
They have a fullback, Joe Carriage, in. 3rd down for Michigan. Inside 4 minutes to go, and it's Carriage, the up man, getting the handoff and able to power it past the marker for a 1st down. Raekwon McMillan on the tackle.
And that's a big 1st down for Michigan. Things have gone sour for them early in this game with a turnover. They get the stop on defense, and then they get a couple of 1st downs here on their 3rd drive and nearing midfield.
That was only the 2nd carry this year for Joe Carriage. Gardner with an interception on the 2nd play. Ohio State turned that into points. Gardner's settled down a bit since. And Gardner has a ton of time looking deep. Single coverage going for Funchess. And it's caught inside the 15. Big play for Michigan. 43 yards.
You have any success running the football, then you come with the play action. It's just one-on-one coverage. Doran Grant, the corner, on Devin Funchess, and the size advantage. Just throw the ball up, play basketball, go up and get a rebound. And 2 guys struggling with confidence. Devin Gardner and Devin Funchess both come up and make a play.
3 catches already for Funchess in this game. 58 on the season. And Michigan is in the red zone. Gardner in trouble, fires complete for the touchdown. Wide open is Jake Butt, as Gardner throws his first road touchdown pass this season.
And give credit, Brady Hoke, Doug Nussmeier on the sideline. A little adjustment. Get number 98 involved in the game, running the football, and then a couple of play actions over the top, and a very well-designed play gets Jake Butt wide open in the end zone.
Matt Weil on a tide for the Wolverines. So Devin Gardner, bouncing back from that opening possession interception, leads his team down the field. A long pass to Funchess, and then this touchdown toss to Jake Butt to tie things up at 7 here late in the 1st quarter. Devin Gardner on that last drive, 4 of 4, 69 yards. The big pass to Funchess, and then the touchdown to Butt. And now a touchback. Ohio State will start on the 25.
We talked about very creative design. Once you get in the red zone, it's called a switch release. One guy goes first, and here's Jake Butt. He's going to come around, and then he's going to get into the seam. A little bit of miscommunication from Ohio State on the defensive end. And an accurate throw nets a touchdown for Devin Gardner.
Barrett to the air here on 1st down, in trouble. Barrett taking off. And Barrett gets hammered at the 43-yard line by Jake Ryan, a Westlake, Ohio native, about 2 hours north of Columbus, leading tackler for Michigan.
And Ryan's been the heart and soul of this Michigan defense for quite some time. He's been an emotional leader. We were talking with Greg Madison, their defensive coordinator, who's a very emotional coach. He says it's going to be very hard to coach this defense. Last game potentially for Jake Ryan. Finalist for the Buckeyes Award. Very lightly recruited. Brady Hoke
Said he didn't even recruit him at San Diego State. And here's Elliott in trouble, and he is slammed down for a loss at the 41-yard line by Joe Bolden, coming off a 14-tackle effort against Maryland a week ago.
They bring a weak side pressure. Here's Ryan and Bolden, both coming on the weak side to the field. A perfectly executed blitz. Great call from Greg Madison, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in all of college football. He knows you can't blitz on a consistent basis. It's too much. It's too easy to read. So he's going to mix in pressures, mix in some zones and man-to-man coverage.
Michigan with some momentum, could be even more so if the Wolverines stop Ohio State on 3rd down and 5. And Barrett to throw, looking for Marshall, who's covered. Barrett taking off, and Ryan takes him down. Did he rule him down, or did he say he got rid of the ball for a forward pass? No signal yet by the official.
Potential grounding. Number 3 was in the vicinity. 4th down.
But they do rule that it was a forward pass, so it'll be 4th and 5. Ohio State will have to punt when we start the second quarter. Michigan able to hold on 3rd down. Once again, ESPN and ABC College Football presented by Kay Jewelers will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. 2006 Heisman Trophy winner and Buckeye great Troy Smith honored and enshrined in between quarters, 3-0 in the game in his history here in Columbus.
Yeah, you think this game matters? If Troy Smith's not 3-0 against Michigan, I guarantee his name's not in the rafters. What a great career Troy Smith had. The thing I remember about him, not only was he a smart player, but he could throw it, he could run it, much like J.T. Barrett. The balance that he had playing the football game was a lot of fun to watch.
Cameron Johnston, last time we saw him, he was getting chewed out by the Buckeye coaching staff. And trying to pin Michigan deep here. Norfleet will let it go. And the Buckeyes will down this one at the 5-yard line. I think the reception for Johnson on the sideline will be a little bit different this time. First down at the Wolverine 5-yard line. After that great punt, here's Johnson, finds a hole. Out past the 10. Von Bell on the stop. Johnson last week rushed for 94 yards against Maryland. Game against Indiana had 122 yards, coming off an ACL a year ago. Getting a lot of work here in the first half.
And maybe the one positive that's come out of the last month of the season for Michigan has been they've been able to start running the football a little bit better. This offensive line has come together a little bit in the running game. Still struggling in pass pro. But if you can run the football and play good defense, you have a chance.
2nd and 4. They'll keep it on the ground with Johnson. Got Carriage out there, springing into the 20. Great block by the fullback, and it's a gain of 12 or 13.
Joe Carriage, one of the more underrated players of this Michigan team. Take a look, number 36 on the outside, gets a block. Takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback when you can run the ball on 1st and 2nd down.
43 yards already for Johnson on 5 carries. Michigan with more yards than Ohio State as Gardner looks deep, had protection and going for Funchess. Another catch made by Funchess, a 1st down at the 40-yard line. Gardner's starting to get it going now.
Well, he's getting a little confidence. This wasn't the most forceful throw. This ball kind of labored out there. Ball's behind Funchess. He does a nice job of coming back and getting that ball. That's been kind of the MO for Devin Gardner. It's been inaccurate, and Funchess has had to make a lot of acrobatic catches this season. And Doug Nussmeier was telling us he started to get into his head a little bit, and that's why he started dropping some footballs. But you see Devin Gardner getting 6 for 6.
Another 1st down. Here's Funchess juggling, now securing, and wrapped up at the 46-yard line. And Michigan, after starting this drive on its 5-yard line, is out near midfield. Devin Gardner now 7 of 8 passing, 7 straight completions after the pick. Here's Johnson, grabbed from behind by Adolphus Washington, and tackled short of the 1st down. So 3rd down and about 3 here for the Wolverines.
We haven't called Joey Bosa's name yet in this game. He's the real game changer on that defensive line. for Ohio State. Going up against Mason Cole, left tackle for Michigan, who's a true freshman, very talented player, but doesn't have the size or strength of a normal left tackle, and somebody that I know Ohio State's defensive coordinator, Chris Ash and Luke Fickell, thought they could take advantage of.
Third down and 2. Play action. Gardner has a completion and a first down, and Carriage is carrying defenders with him inside the 45.
Joe Carriage makes 2 big plays on this drive to get Michigan out of the shadow of its own goal line. Running play, and then makes this adjustment to the ball thrown a little bit behind him. Big first down for Michigan.
And 8 straight completions now for Gardner. Carriage has maybe been the MVP so far of this first half for Michigan. Picked up that 3rd down and 1 on that previous drive that eventually led to a touchdown.
The fullback position is not dead. It's still alive, at least in Ann Arbor.
First down inside the Buckeye 30. Johnson met at the line of scrimmage and driven back. True freshman Raekwon McMillan is going to be a good one. He's out of Georgia. He made the tackle for a loss there.
And they will play McMillan probably half of the snaps. He will split it 50-50 with Curtis Grant. Even though Curtis Grant has played solid this year as a senior, Raekwon McMillan has the kind of talent that you cannot keep on the sideline. Even as a true freshman, he is going to be an outstanding player for Ohio State for a long time.
Loss of 2. Michigan with twice as many yards total offense as Ohio State so far in the game. Gardner inside the 25, breaks the tackle, and inside the 15-yard line for another Michigan first down. Boy, it looks like a totally different player than we've seen this year and also on that first series.
And the backup tight end, Heitzman, number 92, comes out, gets a nice block on Perry there. And this is what he does best, Dave. Get him outside of the pocket, let him use his athletic ability. People forget sometimes that he was a wide receiver. He has the moves and the speed once he gets out of the pocket to make guys miss.
And you think of all the great quarterbacks of Michigan, including yourself and Devin Gardner, as the top 2 passing games in Michigan history, including 451 against Ohio State, 503 against Indiana a year ago. Here's Johnson. He's smothered at the line of scrimmage by Steve Miller. One of the seniors honored today, final home game as a Buckeye. Ohio State definitely will have a game next week, playing in the Big Ten Championship, and obviously the College Football Playoff Committee keeping an eye on this game.
And that's Luke Fickell, a defensive coordinator. This drive is exactly what Ohio State coming into this game wanted to make Michigan do. They didn't think that Michigan could go 90 yards on a drive without making some kind of mistake or turnover. But now this is the 13th play of this drive, and Michigan continues not to make that error.
They've had the ball for 6.5 minutes on this possession. Gardner to the air on 2nd down and 9. Feeling a little pressure and threw it over the head of Amara Darbo. 3rd down and 9. They're 3 of 4 on 3rd down, but asking a lot here.
Well, I think Doug Nussmeier knows that you've got 3 points in your pocket here. You want to call something that's safe. Don't make Devin Gardner try to read the entire field and force the ball downfield to try to get a first down here. Call something that if it opens up, you take a shot in the end zone. If it's not there, you dump the ball down in a safe fashion and kick the field goal. So they love to get the ball to Devin Funchess at the top of the screen.
Gardner steps up and runs, and he's outside to the 5. Gardner hit and out of bounds, and he was close to the first down. And they will spot him at the 2. It'll be 1st and goal for Michigan.
Great equalizer of the mobile quarterback. This was a designed pass, and Devin Gardner just decides to tuck it and run and then extends. Great athletic ability. We've seen him do that throughout his career around the goal line. Uses athletic ability to extend the football.
You could argue this is the best drive all year for Michigan. It started on the 5.
No question. With the circumstances on the road against this team, there's no question about that.
Here's Johnson powering to the goal line and in. Touchdown Michigan. And the Wolverines take the lead. A 15-play, 95-yard drive that took over 7 minutes off the clock.
And it's just power by Drake Johnson. He gets stopped by Michael Bennett there, 63. And he just keeps pumping his legs. Tyvis Powell had a chance. And that final effort gets him into the end zone.
Longest drive of the season by Michigan. Drake Johnson with his 3rd rushing touchdown. The worst start you could possibly have for the Wolverines, but what a response on the road in what could be Brady Hoke's final game as head coach. They have a 14-7 lead.
And you stumble out of the gates on the road in Columbus with an early interception. You either roll up your fist or you lay down. Michigan deciding to fight.
You look at the ball control. Michigan dominating time of possession. Ohio State cold figuratively and literally on that sideline for about 7 minutes. And now they'll have to drive the length of the field. Their first 2 possessions started in Michigan territory. They scored on the first one, but then had to punt on the second one. It'll be a touchback. It will come out to the 25 for the Buckeyes. Little shovel pass here to Corey Smith, and he has stood up at the 20-yard line. A gain of about 6 there.
At some point, J.T. Barrett's going to need to throw the ball down the field and be effective doing it. You've got playmakers, Devin Smith, Michael Thomas, Jalen Marshall. You got to get the football in the hands of your playmakers in space. That's the premise of this offense. They need to start doing that.
And Barrett's pass pulled in, and breaking a tackle is Michael Thomas. They get about 14 on 2nd and 18. 3rd and 3 or 4 here inside a minute to go in the half. Taylor whiffed on the tackle attempt, and then Delano Hill eventually got Michael Thomas to the ground.
You get in a rut on offense. Go to your go-to players. Leading receiver Michael Thomas. Throw him the football. Doesn't matter if it's man-to-man coverage or if it's tight. You trust that he's going to make a play, and he comes up big for J.T. Barrett there.
2 timeouts remaining for Ohio State. 3rd down and 2. Empty set here. And now you see Elliott. Barrett faking it to him and going to take off. Breaks a tackle. Gets the first down. Stays in bounds before he's run out at the 49 by Charlton. That's why J.T. Barrett is a Heisman Trophy candidate with plays like that.
Well, an athletic, but look at the decision. If he throws that swing pass, it'd be tipped and incomplete or intercepted. So the decisions that J.T. Barrett has been making this season on a consistent basis have been so good, and that's why Urban Meyer and Tom Herman have been so pleased with the play of J.T. Barrett.
Redshirt freshman, 12th start.
Yeah, get some points here, though, if you're Ohio State. 50 seconds left in the half. You got 2 timeouts.
And Barrett to the air. And got a man coming open and making the catch is Corey Smith. He came in with only 12 grabs all year. He's made a couple of big catches on this possession. Ohio State trying to get up to the line here. And definitely a catch. Off play action, and Barrett gonna take a shot inside the 5. The catch is made, but out of bounds was Devin Smith. Maybe lost it when he went out of bounds, but good coverage that time by Blake Countess. 2nd down with 29 seconds left.
I think Michigan was thinking the same thing. In this kind of scenario, they're going to take the shot. Blake Countess in great position there, and Devin Smith unable to come down with the football.
Yeah, clearly incomplete, and he would have been out of bounds anyway had he made the catch. So it's 2nd down and 10. Barrett again to the air. Going to swing it to Samuel inside the 30, and he gets hammered out of play by Ben Gideon. He got the first down, though, at the 25-yard line with 23 seconds remaining. Took one for the team, though. Ran straight ahead to get the first down and make it an easier field goal try perhaps for Nurnberger. They can throw it in the middle of the field if they decide with those 2 timeouts. 23 seconds on the clock. We'll see how Michigan handles this. Barrett going to take a shot to the end zone. Jump ball broken up. Intended for Thomas. Jordan Lewis, sophomore out of Detroit, is going to be a really good player for Michigan. Knocked it away.
Back to back. 3 plays, 2 shots downfield. Jordan Lewis in perfect position, looking back for the football, confident that he's in position. And we're talking with Greg Madison this week about Jordan Lewis. He says he's going to be an outstanding football player.
17 seconds left. Would be about a 43 or 44-yard field goal try from here. Barrett with time, pumps, now steps up and runs. Inside the 20, inside the 10, Barrett to the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State. Rushing touchdown number 10 for Barrett. We talked about his Heisman candidacy. It just went up.
He can beat you in so many ways. We saw it 2 weeks ago against Minnesota. He ran for 80-yard touchdown. You cover everybody downfield. Michigan's in good position, and you miss one tackle, and he jukes out Jake Ryan. Take a look. Ryan's right in the middle of the field. Here he is. He'll have the opportunity once J.T. Barrett finally decides to run the football. So much green grass, only a 3-man rush, and one move right there and a missed tackle. And J.T. Barrett has the speed to get to the end zone and ties up this football game.
J.T. Barrett with a touchdown run to tie it with 7 seconds left in the first half. And let's check in with Tom.
Coach, after the long play you gave up to Devin Funchess, you haven't been able to get off the field on defense. What tweaks are you going to make on that side of the football to turn that around?
Well, we've been a good tackling team all year, and I don't feel like we're tackling well, and we started the game strong on defense, but you can't give up a 95-yard drive either.
You got out of rhythm a little bit on offense there, but then get back into it, get the ball coming out in the third quarter. Offensively, what adjustments do you need to make to get J.T. Barrett back into rhythm?
I think we got to play the game a little bit on the perimeter. That's what we did in the last drive, so we're going to go in there and talk about it, but we got to get out of that little rut and get on the edge a little bit.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Wonder if he's referring to Jalen Marshall, who had 0 touches on offense in the first half after 4 consecutive touchdowns last week to beat Indiana. ESPN and ABC College Football, presented by Cade Jewelers, will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Trying to keep the peace here in Columbus. Let Ohio State run out of the tunnel first. Once they clear the field to the sideline, then it's Michigan's turn. And this has been a typical Michigan-Ohio State game. Close, physical, and good quarterback play so far.
Certainly punch, counter punch, a tie ball game. Nobody should be surprised. Each quarterback has had their plays, but it hasn't been much through the air. It's been with their feet. Devin Gardner has made some plays, getting out of the pocket. This was a third down here in the red zone where he gets a first down to the 1-yard line. That leads to the go-ahead score time being for Michigan. And J.T. Barrett, take a look at the decisions that J.T. Barrett has made. They want to throw the swing pass. It's not there. This was a big third down on the last drive that they go down and tie it up. He gets a first down, and then here, doesn't force the ball down the field. Doesn't try to fit it into a tight window. Maintains his composure. Uses his feet. One cut gets Jake Ryan on the ground, and he finishes to tie the football game at halftime.
That was with 7 seconds remaining. Barrett's 10th rushing touchdown, closing in on 1,000 rushing yards on the season. And 3,000 passing yards. Meanwhile, Gardner, who threw for over 400 yards and a 1-point loss in Ann Arbor last year, threw a pick on his first attempt, but pretty good since, and that's a big reason why Michigan is tied with Ohio State. Buckeyes will get the ball to start the second half. Curtis Samuel, Evan Spencer are deep while kicking off. Short kickoff, and here is Samuel across the 20-yard line. And up to the 28.
And this is a big drive in this game. The first drive of the third quarter. Ohio State gets the football with momentum coming off of that touchdown drive.
And here's Barrett on the keeper on first down. Ahead of the 31 for about 3. Let's check in with Tom Luganville.
Well, guys, we heard Urban Meyer talk about attacking the perimeter on offense. He wants to take some of the pressure off of J.T. Barrett. Well, that means getting the ball to the hands of number 17, Jalen Marshall. A week ago, 4 consecutive touchdowns on touches. Hasn't seen the ball yet today.
And there you see Barrett's numbers throwing the football. Got 3 yards there. And Jalen Marshall has accounted for 8 touchdowns this year as Barrett keeps and gets dropped after a gain of 1. Ryan Glasgow tripped him up and then finished off by James Ross. So Ohio State faced with a 3rd and long on the opening possession of the second half.
And first time we've seen the option in this game, and that's exactly what Urban Meyer was talking about, getting that ball to the edge with an option to pitch it. Well defended by Michigan, brings up a 3rd and 6.
Only a 50% completion percentage for Barrett so far in the game. 3rd down and 6. And wide open is Jeff Hireman, the tight end, in the middle of the field. It's a 1st down. Hireman had been wearing number 5, a tribute to Braxton Miller, but went back to his number 86 for senior day today.
Yeah, and this was really easy. You see Jalen Marshall, he clears out. A lot of attention. Jake Ryan runs with him, and nobody left for Hireman. Jalen Marshall affects the game even if he's not touching the ball, Dave, and that was a perfect instance.
17th catch on the year for Hireman, his 33rd career start. A fresh set it down for the Buckeyes. Another pass play. Barrett going to air it out, going deep, and the pass is on the money. Caught inside the 5 by Devin Smith. What a throw by J.T. Barrett.
Devin Smith has been the big play wide receiver for Ohio State for a long time. You give J.T. Barrett that amount of time in the pocket, and that ball perfectly thrown.
52-yard strike by J.T. Barrett, and it's a 1st and goal inside the Michigan 5. Barrett gets a block from Elliott, and Barrett finds pay dirt. Buckeyes back on top. J.T. Barrett with 3 touchdowns accounted for in this game, and now 45 total scores for Barrett this year. Nurnberger on for the point after. And it's back to a 7-point Ohio State lead.
And a statement coming out of the locker room at halftime by Ohio State. And their leader, J.T. Barrett, all year with the big throw downfield. You cannot place that ball any better to Devin Smith.
J.T. Barrett, great pass to senior Devin Smith, number 3 all-time in touchdown receptions, trailing Chris Carter, who's here in attendance, by 1. And he got Ohio State down to the 3-yard line before Barrett did the rest for a 2nd rushing touchdown today. Penalty on Michigan after the touchdown, so that's why Ohio State is kicking off from midfield. And Norfleet, no intention of running it out. Touchback, and will come out to the 25. Now we'll see how Devin Gardner responds with his team down 7. Didn't seem to faze Michigan in the first half. Couple of nifty fakes there, run and pass fake, and then they hand it off to Johnson. And here it's 21-14, Ohio State. Michigan on 2nd down running, and Johnson is wrapped up by Joey Bosa and tossed down. Able to pick up 2 or 3, so a 3rd down and a yard coming up here for Michigan. Wolverines were excellent on 3rd down in the first half. They possessed the ball almost twice as long as Ohio State did. They certainly don't want to give it back to Ohio State with all the momentum favoring the home team. Johnson between the tackles, 1st down and more. Great run as Johnson splatters the pile and moves it out to the 42 for an 8-yard run on 3rd and 1.
Devion Smith has been the hammer, the thumper for Michigan all season, but Drake Johnson shows you he can get behind his pads. He runs right over Grant, the middle linebacker. And that's the kind of run that you can get some momentum built off. It's been a physical game. We saw some big hits in the first half of this game. I don't see it changing any in the second.
From the Michigan 42, Gardner. He's going to try a deep ball. It's underthrown and incomplete. Intended for Amara Darboh. There were 2 Buckeyes in coverage. Tyvis Powell was one of them. He had the game-saving interception on that 2-point try by Michigan in the game last year.
I don't mind taking an aggressive shot downfield, but don't do it in a 2-deep coverage. Here you got 2 guys for 1, and Tyvis Powell's in good position. He's looking at the quarterback, and that ball underthrown, and Devin Gardner is fortunate that that ball was not intercepted by Tyvis Powell.
Second down and 10 for the senior from Detroit. As Gardner dumps it off, and wide open is Johnson. And Johnson takes on a defender, Duran Grant. And the tailback wins that one. Just short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, give an assist to Joe Carriage. Take a look at number 36, the halfback. He's going to pick up Grant, the blitzing linebacker, and the blitz leaves the flat open for Drake Johnson. Good recognition from Devin Gardner, and puts himself in a manageable situation here, a 3rd and short.
Well, Brady Hoke called a timeout. That was not to challenge it, but what it did do is give the officials time for an official review, and they look at it and overturn the ruling on the field. It is a first down for Michigan at the Ohio State 48 as Drake Johnson picked it up. But it does cost Michigan a timeout, leaving them at 2.
I think it's worth it, though. I mean, you get a first down here. That was a big first down. There were a couple of questionable timeouts in last week's game in the second half against Maryland that Brady Hoke used. But that one, if you get a first down in that situation, is well worth it.
Gardner to the air. And Gardner gets hit, and Funchess able to catch up to it on the sideline. First down at the 33-yard line. A 15-yard pickup. Devin Funchess having a terrific ball game here today in Columbus.
Well, it's been this route to the outside predominantly. He definitely had the left foot in and looked like he had control of that football. The ball floated because Gardner got hit. It's Bosa. And Michigan can't block 97. They have to just throw the ball quick if they're going to throw it at all.
Here's the pitch. Johnson going to throw it back. Gardner, the former receiver, catches it inside the 10. First and goal inside the 5 for the Wolverines.
You knew that Brady Hoke coming in this game with nothing to lose was going to empty the tank. They're going to pitch it out, and then the quarterback is just going to release out the backside. And Drake Johnson completes that ball to Devin Gardner. You knew, and you get in that red zone fringe area where teams like to take a shot downfield with the fast flow of the defense for Ohio State. Good play call from Doug Nussmeier.
All tight ends and 2 backs here. Power football. Like Leland, first and goal inside the 5. Johnson into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Joe Carriage is lighting people up. The Michigan fullback springing Drake Johnson, who's shaken up.
And you mentioned it. Drake Johnson gets into the end zone. Carriage all day has been the lead blocker. And
you see his numbers on the day. 2 touchdowns. He had 2 rushing touchdowns all season.
They're already down Derek Green, right, who was their feature back all year. We haven't seen a whole lot of Davion Smith. Justice Hayes is more of a scat back kind that doesn't carry the load on an every down basis. So Drake Johnson's really an important factor for Michigan.
The big picture, even if Ohio State goes on to win this game, if you're Urban Meyer, you're unhappy with the defense. You give up a 95-yard drive in the first half, and now a 12-play, 75-yard drive in the second half. And after the point after from Weil, we are tied at 21.
They were off the field if Joey Bosa doesn't jump off sides. It's a turnover.
The throw back to Gardner sets up the touchdown run by Drake Johnson. All even midway through the third here in Columbus. And again, Ohio State finds itself in a close game in the second half here at home. Just like last week against Indiana before the Buckeyes eventually pulled away. Here's Samuel on the return for the Buckeyes. And good coverage by Michigan. Samuel tackled short of the 20. Out of an empty set, Barrett on the run here on first down. And Barrett gang tackle to the 25-yard line, 5 or 6 yards on 1st and 10.
Well, to follow up on what Luke's is saying, even maybe more important than the yards that they've gained has been the time of possession and taking the time off of the clock, knowing that, listen, Ohio State's got a very explosive offense. We need to protect our defense. We can't leave them out on the field for 80, 90 plays and hope that they'll be fresh in the 4th quarter when they need it the most.
Again, we still have not seen Jalen Marshall get into the action on offense for Ohio State. 2nd down and 5. Elliott able to move the pile past the first down marker. Another powerful running back, 225-pound sophomore, Ezekiel Elliott. 6th in the Big Ten at just under 100 yards rushing per game.
We've seen some powerful runs from Drake Johnson and Ezekiel Elliott. Equally as powerful at 225 pounds, just pushing the pile, and that time ran right over Jake Ryan.
There's Barrett with time, and Barrett now has to step up with everybody covered, and Barrett gets back to the line of scrimmage. Mario Ojemudia, who we have not called his name as of yet, makes a play. They are high on this junior from Farmington Hills.
Well, just to finish on your kind of line of thought there, Braxton Miller, there's no way that I would be able to take J.T. Barrett off the field with the way that he's been playing. He runs the entirety of the offense and understands how to go through the reads and process information very quickly and get the ball to the right spot consistently. And that's just something that you can't teach innately with a quarterback.
They run Elliott straight ahead, and he's to the 47. Barrett back to throw. Barrett hit, and he still delivers a strike. A 1st down catch by Michael Thomas. You see Jordan Lewis slap the ground in frustration, saying, I did everything I could to cover the guy. Now there's a penalty marker down on the far side of the field.
Foul for a defensive foul in the previous play. 1st down.
You asked me why J.T. Barrett? This is the reason why. On a critical 3rd down, in tight coverage, a blitz right up the middle, you stand in there, look down the barrel of the gun, and fire that ball in the only place that Michael Thomas can make that play. That right there is the reason why J.T. Barrett, in my opinion, should be the quarterback.
Well, he picked up 3rd down using his legs late in the 1st half. There he does it with his arm. A great throw. Nearing 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. We are tied at 21. And now Barrett pulling it back. And wide open Nick Van Nant, who scored a 1st half touchdown. That's a huge block. Finally tackled inside the 25. 1st down Buckeyes. 22-yard gain.
Again, a great read. The open receiver, he finds him. Take a look at Corey Smith. Great block, a clean block, most importantly, but a great block by Corey Smith. Gets an extra 15 yards.
And Ohio State on the move, looking to retake the lead. Here's a pitch to Elliott inside the 20 and upended around the 16-yard line by Channing Stribling. 2nd down.
Get the sense that these offenses, both offenses, are exerting their will. Different ways, but both exerting their will against these defenses, and we've gone back and forth on the scoreboard.
Ohio State picking up the tempo here. Barrett pumps, and now in trouble in the pocket, being chased from behind, and gets rid of it. And Barrett running around in circles, almost tripped over a Michigan player, but kept the play alive and threw it away.
Great coverage on the outside. Take a look at the coverage out here. They're going to try to get the slip screen, the pump on the slip screen, and then downfield. But Delano Hill, number 44, the safety, doesn't bite. And that allows Taco Charlton to get in the backfield. And then I think a smart throwaway from J.T. Barrett.
That's a great play. I mean, how many quarterbacks would just go down there after you spin and there's a defender right there? He jumps over the guy and still gets out of the pocket and throws it away. And here's Jalen Marshall getting a touch on 3rd down. And Marshall inside the 10. Banged out a play at the 7, but it's 1st and goal Buckeyes. They finally get Marshall involved on that little touch pass by Barrett.
You put that much speed of Jalen Marshall on the perimeter with great blocking. Look at Ezekiel Elliott. He gets a great block. We know that he's an unselfish player. And then a little move on Joe Bolden, an easy conversion for Jalen Marshall.
And now Barrett handing it off. Elliott powers in. Touchdown, Ohio State. Did his knee hit before the ball crossed the plane?
No, I think he's in there. It's pretty clear. Knee crossed that plane of the goal line before that knee went down.
9th rushing touchdown for Ezekiel Elliott. 14-play, 81-yard drive. The Buckeyes taking 6.5 minutes off the clock. And Nurnberger makes it a 7-point lead again for Ohio State with just over a minute remaining here in the third quarter. And can Michigan get a stop even if the Wolverines go down and score? Ohio State, since the end of the second quarter, has scored 21 points. They had 7 through the first 29 minutes of this game. And you wonder now about Michigan's top tailback in this game, Drake Johnson. Will he be available after getting injured on that touchdown run? Going to be a touchback out to the 25. Play fake. Gardner on the rollout, in trouble, trying to stiff arm. And Gardner throws it away. He was hand fighting with Darren Lee, trying to convert and throw the ball to the sideline for Chesson. Second down.
Well, and here comes Davion Smith into the ball game, and he's got 105 carries already this season, 515 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he's got a lot of experience. I'm not sure why he hasn't played yet in this football game. He's more of a thumper inside the tackles, but that's the kind of game that Michigan's been playing anyway.
They got the fullback carriage in too. Second down and 10. He motions Smith out of the backfield. Quarterback run. And there's nowhere for Gardner to go. He takes a big hit from Michael Bennett. Only a 2-yard pickup. So it brings up a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 8 here for Michigan.
You know, we haven't seen any kind of attempt to throw the football and take the top off the defense outside of the one deep throw to Devin Funchess in the first half. And Ohio State now has decided to sell out to stop the run. We'll see if Michigan decides to take a shot over the top.
Great day in college football. What makes it so unique. All these great rivalry games. And now with playoff implications. Michigan on 3rd and 8. Gardner's pass is low and incomplete. Intended for Darboh. There is pressure on Gardner. And so it's 4th down.
And you get the sense that without a consistent running game and Drake Johnson in the game, that Michigan's not going to be able to move the ball as successfully as it has all game. And that second time we've seen Darboh go down on a pass from Devin Gardner that was low. They had a 1st down completion earlier in the game, and then that ball was dropped. And if I were Ohio State and Urban Meyer, I would play safe on all these punts in the second half. I don't know what Brady Hoke's got up his sleeve, but special teams is an area where he might take a chance.
Yeah, they faked a punt last week, and it worked against Maryland, but he'll kick it here. And it's a good punt. Marshall backing up. It takes a Michigan bounce inside the 25. And so Ohio State with 2 seconds left, making 1 second left in the quarter, will have the football inside its 25. They're going to run Elliott on 1st down. And he's across the 30 and gets almost a 1st down. Picked up 9 on the final play of the third quarter. Ohio State 1 quarter away from its 10th straight win. The Buckeyes lead Michigan, trying to end the Wolverines season. It's a 7-point game. And the Buckeyes lead it by 7 as we go to the 4th here at the Horseshoe. Ohio State leading the country in home attendance for the first time since 1973. And they set a record today in the 111th meeting with Michigan. Over 108,600 on hand. Buckeyes with a 2nd down and 1. And Barrett in trouble in the backfield is brought down for a loss by Ojemudia. Some pushing and shoving after the play. We haven't seen a lot of extracurricular activity in this game, as Barrett still down for Ohio State.
He got bent back pretty significantly when he went down. Ojemudia had him, and it was wrestling him to the ground.
Oh boy. And obviously Braxton Miller is out for the year. Cardale Jones, a sophomore from Cleveland, is the next man up. Oh man, look at the legs there, with Ojemudia having made the tackle, and boy, that looks bad.
Such an unbelievable season this kid has had, coming from nowhere. Let's hope he's okay.
Back in Columbus, where J.T. Barrett is being carted off after a gruesome injury, being tackled by Mario Ojemudia, and they got the inflatable cast on the right leg of Barrett and taking him to the Buckeye locker room.
He's fighting for some extra yardage, and Ojemudia gets him, and he kind of comes down the back of his leg. Devin Gardner comes out to check on him. And
Tom Luganville, our ESPN National Recruiting Director, has the story in Cardale Jones.
Well, Cardale Jones is out of Glenville, Cleveland High School. It's been a football factory. It's where Ted Ginn went. He's a pocket guy. Wasn't recruited to play in this style of offense, but he's adapted. Not going to have that sudden running game, and that's what you're seeing right now with Jalen Marshall at quarterback.
And Marshall picks a hole and has the first down out near the 35. Again, Marshall with limited touches today. Now with the injury to Barrett, we may see more of this here in the fourth quarter.
Well, and how nice is it for Urban Meyer to be able to go with this changeup, to have Jalen Marshall, the high school quarterback who's got great vision.
On 1st and 15, Jones will throw, and that one off target. Try to hit Michael Thomas. Looked like maybe rushed that one. 2nd down and 15.
But as Luke said, this offense is fundamentally different, in my opinion, with Cardale Jones at quarterback. He does not have that elusive element that Braxton Miller had and that J.T. Barrett had. And so you've got to adjust on the fly if you're Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, and get this kid into a rhythm early in this game. The problem is it's the fourth quarter, only 7.5 minutes left.
They shift Elliott across the formation. Quarterback run. Jones past the 30, turns it upfield. And Jones tripped up, but after he got the first down on 2nd and 15, he gets about 18.
Well, at 250 pounds, he shows that he can run as well. They had the perfect play call. They brought a blitz from the field. Greg Madison trying to dial up the pressure. And Tom Herman, the offensive coordinator, has the answer. Roll his quarterback away from him.
It's a bright young mind here in college football, Tom Herman. You mentioned, you would imagine that his name will be mentioned for some head coaching jobs. Came from Iowa State. Coach Meyer, when he hired him, they had never met. Just talked on the phone and got together. And eventually Herman was hired as Elliott, on a pound between the tackles, gets to about midfield for a 3-yard pickup. 7 minutes and counting. Here in the fourth, Ohio State leading by 7.
We talked about the adjustments for Ohio State and how they potentially changed their offensive philosophy. Michigan now has to adjust as well and say, okay, what do we know about Cardale Jones and how are we going to attack? If there's less of the perimeter threat in this offense, how are we going to attack Cardale Jones and try to get him off his spot?
And a play clock at 11 here, and Ohio State, they're trying to get lined up. 2nd down and 8. Here comes Marshall. That touch pass to Marshall, and he can't get the corner. Well defended by the Wolverines. Only a 1-yard pickup. Ojemudia had the edge that time along with Wilson. That's tough too. Cardale Jones, you come in, you run that touch pass in practice. Now you get to do it in the game.
Yep.
And is well executed, but Michigan defended it well also.
Now we'll see what Tom Herman does. Big 3rd down and 6 here. Will he let Cardale Jones throw the football?
Would you? You got a lead, up 7, 6 minutes to go. Do you run, take time off the clock?
Listen, this is your quarterback for the rest of the year. You have to assume that based on what we saw. You got to get him, let him throw the football. I would target Hireman.
Jones going to swing it out, and Corey Smith fighting for the first down, and it looks like he got it. Nope, they're going to say stepped out just short. Stribbling with a tackle. Ohio State may go for it here on 4th down and 1 inside the Michigan 45.
Great effort by Smith on the sideline. He drives for 3 yards plus. That was a good spot.
Yep.
Came up about a yard short.
Buckeyes are going for it. Do you like this decision here? 7-point lead going for it.
With a quarterback that's 250 pounds, I think I'd let him keep it and have Ezekiel Elliott as a lead blocker.
Elliott has the first down and more, and Elliott's going to have a touchdown. On 4th and 1, Elliott takes it to the house. A 44-yard touchdown sprint by Ezekiel Elliott, and the Buckeyes have a 2-touchdown lead.
The courage to make the big decision to go for it on 4th down in the 4th quarter for Urban Meyer is rewarded. In this game, 4th quarter is all that really matters. And if you have the courage to make that call and execute it to perfection, you got a great chance of winning the football game, and that's what happened.
35-21, Ohio State under 5 to play. Great blocking up front. Ryan can't get the ankle tackle, and Ezekiel Elliott into the end zone. Urban Meyer's team up 2 scores late. Trying to win the game for the 3rd straight year, and for the first time in Big Ten history, go undefeated and untied 3 consecutive seasons in conference play. The last loss by Ohio State in Big Ten action was the 2011 Michigan game in Ann Arbor, when Urban Meyer was supposed to broadcast the game, but didn't want to take away from Luke Fickell and cause a distraction by being on the air that day, so asked off, and then was later named the head coach of the Buckeyes. The rumors were going out at that point. Norfleet past the 20-yard line. Michigan will have it at the 22.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. You think about the influence that Jalen Marshall has on Michigan's defense. He's in the backfield. Watch both safeties react to the play action. And Jalen Marshall, both of them run. All 3 guys run. That leaves the counter wide open on the inside. Really, Jake Ryan is the player that needs to make this play. He's shooting that A-gap, and he's the one that has the opportunity to make the play. Unable to get Ezekiel Elliott on the ground, and how fitting it is for Ezekiel Elliott to come up with the play of the game after how he's played in this game, specifically without the ball in his hands. Unselfish blocking in the passing game and in the running game.
Now Devin Gardner down 2 scores, needs to work fast. The completion out near the 17-yard line is Jake Butt. And Elliott, everybody talks obviously about Braxton Miller and what he did last year. J.T. Barrett and what he's been able to accomplish. Ezekiel Elliott is a guy that doesn't get a lot of pub, but he's had a great year. Another 1,000-yard rushing season. 121 today and 2 scores.
And he's such a multi-purpose, but he's kind of like in basketball, they move without the football in his hands. He does a great job.
Diving to make the catch at the 38-yard line is Darbo, so that's a Michigan first down. Clock will stop as they reset the chains.
He's had an opportunity to make a couple of these kinds of plays in this game. Nice job diving and making a play for his quarterback.
If Michigan doesn't come back, its season is over. Will Brady Hoke's tenure at Michigan be over after 4 seasons? Here comes a blitz. It's picked up. Gardner, though, is wrapped up by Bosa. The ball's out. Darren Lee's got it for Ohio State. Going for the exclamation point. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Second fumble recovery for a touchdown this year by Darren Lee. And it's 20 unanswered points. About to become 21 straight.
You think about 10 minutes ago in this game, J.T. Barrett's laying on the field of Ohio Stadium, and it's a one-score game. And now, 10 minutes later, this team is going to go up 20 points in this game, and all of a sudden the style points are there.
42-21 with 4 minutes to go.
They've struggled to block this defensive line for Ohio State all game, and when you combine that with holding the football, it's a recipe for disaster. Bosa's going to come off the edge. He's done it all game long. Gets a hand on the football, and then Lee, the true freshman, the beneficiary, picks it up, and that's a microcosm of Michigan season all year long. Just once you pump that ball, especially in a game like this where you know you've been pressured all game, once you pump that ball, you have to have an internal clock in your head and know that this defensive front is going to be there. And then when you separate both hands from the football, that's when it comes out. And you wonder, as you look forward in that playoff committee, how they will look at Ohio State led by a Cardale Jones versus a J.T. Barrett.
It'll be a touchback here. First things first for the Buckeyes when it comes to the committee. They got to beat a good team next week, either Wisconsin or Minnesota. And they beat Minnesota 2 weeks ago on the road, but it wasn't an easy game. J.T. Barrett with his legs basically won that game, and now Barrett unlikely to play in that contest.
Well, it's the one thing that I don't know how the committee is going to do this. I don't know how they're going to look at injury. You see this completion of Jake Butt. I don't know how they're going to treat this injury. They've implied that it's going to have an effect. What kind of effect and how severe an effect it's going to have, we don't know. But I would offer you this. If Braxton Miller had stayed healthy this entire season and gotten hurt in this game, nobody would have known who J.T. Barrett was. And if he would have entered this game, he potentially could have gone on and won the Big Ten championship and won the national championship for all I know. But the thing is, we don't know. And so how do you judge that as a committee? You're assuming so much, and that's the one thing with this new system that really makes me nervous, is how they're going to react to this.
Well, you had a lot of people that didn't like the BCS setup, where you had 2 polls of computers. Well, now you've got 12 people making a decision, and it's a little bit murky when it's mentioned that, hey, we're going to pick the 4 best teams. So what does that mean? Is Ohio State with Cardale Jones, if the Buckeyes win next week, one of the 4 best teams. Now, we still have Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn to play. Oregon's got a couple games left. Florida State, Florida. A lot can happen. They can move up in the standings by virtue of their teams losing. Another sack for Bosa. The helmet of Gardner comes off again. This time, no foul on Bosa.
But what it really comes down to is the best versus most deserving, and that's the important distinction. And if Ohio State wins out, you can make a very good argument that they are one of the most deserving teams, one of the top 4 teams in that category to be in that playoff.
As Gardner throws, and it is caught by Funchess for a first down. Or no, he's short of the first down, excuse me, at midfield. That'll be 3rd down here for the Wolverines inside 3 minutes to go, down 21.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's let go next week. And then you move forward and you say, okay, if Jim Hackett, who I fully anticipate is going to be the man that hires the next head coach potentially for Michigan, is he the right guy to be in that position? And I think he is. And I actually talked with him this week, and I think he's uniquely qualified to take this program in the position it is now, in the pivotal moment that it is now, and take it to a new direction. And he's a very intelligent man, and is a Michigan man through and through. Understands, his father was a captain for Ohio State in 1944. His brother played for Woody Hayes at Ohio State, and obviously Jim played for Bo Schembechler at Michigan. So he understands this program. He understands this rivalry in particular, and I know that he is dedicated 100% to getting this program back on track.
4th down and 2. Michigan has to go for it, down 3 scores with 2:14 left. And Gardner will take off, and Gardner gets the first down. Now, you mentioned that Hackett could stay on. Right now he's the interim. When you go to hire a head coach, how does that impact your search? If a head coach is uncertain about the athletic director position.
Yeah, and I think Jim will handle that well. He may decide that he wants to be the athletic director. I think you try this on, and it's sometimes you fall in love with a position, and he's come to the rescue of this program in a very dire situation with Dave Brandon, the resignation. I mean, how many negative things have happened for Michigan this season? And I think you need somebody that is able to manage all of those things, both with the coaching staff, the on-the-field product, the off-the-field product, what's going on in the university. There's a lot going on. And I think Jim Hackett has the skill set to manage all that and take it in the right direction.
Darbo gets the first down. And Brady Hoke at a press conference this week, he got the sense he knew. He joked that I'm sure we'll have another press conference here soon to discuss my future. And in talking with him yesterday, he's very calm. And Brady's always been good to talk to. And he just wanted a chance to win this game. This is the game that he's looked to. When Rich Rodriguez was the coach here with Michigan, there wasn't the same emphasis. He was unfamiliar with the rivalry. He knew about it, but didn't have as deep a roots as Brady Hoke did.
Brady Hoke's a great man, great person, and he's a good football coach.
Gardner's pass overthrown. There's a flag down. Funches the intended receiver.
But at the end of the day, we know this is a production business, and it's a performance business, and he knows that. And there's no surprises coming for Brady Hoke.
Holding. Defense number 13. 10 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
There's really three things that stand out. I think number one, never having continuity and efficiency at the quarterback position over a consistent period of time. Three different offensive philosophies over the course of the last 4 years of his tenure, and an offensive line that has not developed when you consider the 2011 and 2012 recruiting classes that were very strong in that area that haven't come to fruition just yet.
Gardner going to the end zone, and another flag as Apple had his back turned. Freddie Canteen, the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And obviously Apple had no idea the ball was thrown there with his hands all over the receiver, so an easy call. But perhaps the last game for Brady Hoke, certainly the last game for Devin Gardner, the senior quarterback. And when they made the change to go to more of a two-back system, which we saw a couple of years ago from the Rich Reed option system, thought really that was going to suit Devin Gardner. As Gardner rolls out and throws, and a catch made for a touchdown by Canteen. Got the foot down.
Great catch from Freddie Canteen. You have that foot down. Yeah, that left foot was down. They had high hopes for Freddie Canteen. Had a great spring coming into fall camp. They thought he was going to be a major contributor in this offense, but hasn't panned out that way. That's only his 5th catch of the season. But somebody that Michigan can hopefully build on for the future.
And what about player development? Now that's obviously something that has lacked the last few years. We'll see if that changes in the future. Ohio State going to win its 8th straight game and get to 11-1 going into next week's Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis against the winner of the Wisconsin-Minnesota game. But obviously the story right now is Cardale Jones being the quarterback for Ohio State. How will he do in that game and beyond? Here's the onside kick by Michigan, and an easy recovery for Evan Spencer of Ohio State. Only one more timeout for Michigan. And Urban Meyer knows it. Going to be another undefeated regular season in conference play, 3rd straight year. In Minnesota back in the 30s had 3 straight years where they were unbeaten, but they also had a tie in there. And Ohio State going back to 2011, the Michigan game, not lost a conference game in the regular season. Urban Meyer will be 35-3. The losses: Michigan State in the Big Ten Championship game last year, the bowl game against Clemson, Virginia Tech at home, which seems like 4 years ago. A much different Ohio State team since then. Jones takes a knee, and that's it. Michigan season is over. Ohio State keeps its playoff hopes alive with win number 11. And a great respect for Brady Hoke. Urban Meyer taking the time to meet with Hoke there at midfield. Very physical game as we expected today between these two teams, these two great rivals. Too many explosive plays in the end for the Buckeyes as they win at 42-28. Now Ohio State will go watch Minnesota, Wisconsin to see who the Buckeyes will play in the Big Ten championship game next week. That game is in Madison starting just about now. Let's check in meanwhile with Tom standing by with Coach Meyer.
Coach, you had 4th and short. Could have punted it, played field position. You got the guts to make the call. Put the ball game in the hands of your players.
Yeah, I really trust our line coach, and I looked him in the eye, and he's got a very good unit. That unit, if you can't get that first down in that situation, you're on a championship team, and we're a championship team.
I know you don't know the status yet of J.T. Barrett. Stadium went silent, and your defense won this game for you after that injury. What does that say about this kid?
Oh, he's a tremendous leader, and I got to go find out. But we got a championship game next week. Can't enjoy this very much longer, very long. But JT's a warrior. I love that guy.
Congratulations. Go check out.
Thanks.
Final score 42-28 as Ohio State knocks off Michigan. Coming up next on ABC, more college football presented by Kay Jewelers. For Brian Greasy, Tom Luganbill, our outstanding ABC crew, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Columbus. Ohio State, win number 11, beats Michigan 42-28.